Hello everyone, happy Monday and welcome back to another day trading recap video. Today, unfortunately, wasn't really my day. It's a small red day here. I was green for a bit, but it was exactly like, up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit, and I'm ending it down. And I was about to stop a little bit earlier. Then SOFI popped up. It was front side pattern, 5-minute breakout, 1-minute pullback, but there was no continuation. Unfortunately, I got red on that trade. Then it popped up again. I went for it again. It didn't work the second time. Then I was like, ugh, kind of annoying. Made back a little bit of my losses with AGRI, but it wasn't enough to make me green. And there wasn't that many opportunities. Pre-market was, again, a snooze fest. And then, we had DTST, sorry about that. And that ticker was really sticky on TOS, where you would try to place an order. The price would go either, below your order if you could finally get filled, and then all of a sudden, you try to exit, but you can't. It was really weird. I had some awkward price action on that one, sticky orders, and it seemed like Tom in the Discord was saying the same thing, where he was having issues with it. Although I heard on IB, so Interactive Brokers, that was fine trading on there. So I don't know what it is. Sometimes there's tickers that the orders just don't go through very well. It's weird. I can't really explain it, but yeah, that was the case for today. So let's go over to the trading screen and see what everything is looking like. Let's see here. Do I have everything up? Yeah. So yeah, 5 tickers today, kind of on the higher side for sure. And there it is, SOFI, wrapping up the bigger losses on this one. I did use bigger size on them because it is a large cap and it moves a little bit slower. So that's why I dug the hole a little bit. But really, all these other tickers, I barely made any profits on. A few of them I sized down originally, and then I was ready to size up, and then nothing happened. Most of these tickers, I was up like 200 at one point, and then I gave it back. So it was a real scratch day. One step forward, one step back, and that's how it is. Plus, today we might be approaching that end of the SPY dead cat bounce potentially. So if we look here to the daily chart on the SPY, why is this looking so okay? There it is. It was just loaded. Yeah, TOS has been acting really weird lately. So we had this aggressive 6-day sell-off, and now we're having that bounce right now. The bounce has been pretty strong so far. We've reached huge resistance right around 403, 405. So maybe we're gonna have a little bit rip through here, but I don't really see a full recovery happening just yet. So right now we're still on the backside. We're having these bottom bounces, having retests, and continuing the sell-off. So I'm not super optimistic that we're gonna just have a total reversal from here. So it feels like the overall market is trying to figure out where it wants to go, and I think that's overshadowing maybe some of the action we're getting on the small caps again. But right now the SPY is in a bit of a range from 398 to this 402, 403 zone. We're right in the middle of that area, and you can see that big sell-off we had near the market open. Usually I'm not so focused on the SPY, but lately a lot of tickers have been kind of trending in sync with it. Specifically now that sometimes I'll trade some of these large caps over some small caps because the small caps just aren't getting a lot of action right now. And since the overall market's moving so much, we'll see these large caps moving a lot more too. So they tend to be a little bit more favorable to trade at the moment. So yeah, there's a little bit of more macro involved right now. And today I could have probably just taken off. I mean, for 2 hours, nothing really happened pre-market, so it just wasn't that exciting of a day. Let's go through here on these tickers. I think, DTST was one of the more interesting ones, although it was stuck, and then AGRI was really the champion today, I believe. So let's actually start on the daily chart here. And, this is a ticker that we've seen many times pop up and drop. It doesn't really hold its highs so well. So I'm not really sure if there's going to be a lot of longevity behind this ticker. Plus, there's a lot of back holders, I'm sure, behind it. And then 3.6, 3.7 is big time resistance on this ticker. It does have nice high relative volume, but just has so much overhead resistance. You could really feel it the whole entire time. IT company, almost 7 million shares outstanding, and a 23 million market cap with earnings today. So good, statistics, good catalyst, but just wasn't really able to, hold those highs so well. Technically, it is holding the highs, but it was like every time it broke out, it gave it back and then inched up and then tried to break out and gave it back and inched up, and all the meanwhile, it had really sticky price action. So it was a weird ticker to trade, for sure. I was not a big fan of this ticker at all. So yeah, 7 o'clock, pops up here, does a few moves. I get green on it. In this area, it's a little choppy. You know, this classic, breakout, and then sells off again, then inches its way up. So basically, if you're buying into the breakout, you'd have to take profits really quick because the breakouts just didn't have that, pullback continuation, stuff like that. So here's a classic, 5-minute breakout. Where is this? This is like 10:05 or something like that. Yeah, right here. So we have this nice classic 5-minute breakout, 1-minute pullback, but again, no continuation. So in terms of being a front side momentum trader, just wasn't a really great day for that. And I'm not too bullish long term on DTST. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see it again tomorrow, but wouldn't be surprised either way. AGRI, I think this ticker was probably the best one of the day. Unfortunately, I gave back profits on this one quite unnecessarily. And then on top of that, I missed the best move on AGRI. So that was a little bit disappointed there. Decent relative volume. And then, went all the way up to this 2.5 zone where there is significant resistance here. And this is like really old resistance. Let's go to the weekly chart. See if we could get a little bit of a better view. No, not really. Price action is just so weird. I would have to remove my moving average, but it's not even so important to do that right now. Let's go to the 4-hour maybe and look at this. So you can see, let's scroll back here a little bit. Where it says 2.5 right in here in this area. So we had big sell-off, then we had a bounce, a retest in this area. We had a breakout, a retest in this area. And this was kind of like that last significant zone. So I marked that out. And you can see we're really struggling here in this area. It's an agriculture company, 15 million shares outstanding and a 34 million market cap. So pretty nice on all that. Let's see, parties mutual agreement here. Catalyst does, that's May 12th, so that's a little bit further away. So it doesn't really have a good catalyst today, but it was kind of living off of that catalyst that came out from last week. Okay, and then, the 5-minute, nothing really too interesting because it had this big breakout in the extended note. Was that? Yeah, that was extended hours pre-market today. Had a huge breakout, but then it sold off and it was stuck below VWAP. And in this area, had a very low amount of volume. So it wasn't really interesting to trade at all pre-market. But then, this is where it gets good. The market opens, it sells off a little bit, so it has a red to green move, and then it just rips 30%. And at this point, I was trading a different ticker. I don't even remember which one. I think it was one of these 3 down here. And I missed this perfect frontside move. So we had a nice 5-minute breakout, 1-minute pullback. This would have been the entry of the century. And then I had another pullback here. I actually switched over to AGRI at this point. I had my limit order like somewhere right here. I should have gotten more aggressive. So this is when I wrote in the Discord. I was a little bit too conservative in my entries. So I missed all of this stuff. I should have been just dialed in on AGRI. I could have made all the profits today on this ticker. So when I finally was looking at this ticker, the red volume was spiking up. It was taking over. In general, volume was now selling off. So that's not really nice. And a lot of fake outs here, a lot of flushes. And actually in the Discord, I literally said it might try one more fake out and then sell off. And that's exactly what happened. And you could just get the feeling for this ticker based on the volume, the decreasing volume, the volume spikes that are all red, and just looking at the chart, like how it has all these fake outs. So it just doesn't look that good of a ticker. So there goes AGRI. Are we going to see more of this ticker? I don't know. It also doesn't hold its highs super well. It did have this kind of like multi-week thing right here, but I think in this market with this amount of back holders too on this specific ticker, I'm not so optimistic on AGRI holding up here. Maybe it's gonna try a few things in this range, but not for me. The other tickers, all very quick trades. Let's see, where do we start? What was this one? AMPG, just barely green on this one, just a scratch trade. Popped up really fast pre-market and then just sold off. I went for a little trade here. I only got a partial entry. I got actually a pretty decent entries here. It popped up again and I just sold it. I think I had originally like 1,000 shares, which is still a small size, but I only got a tenth of that small size filled. So then I just closed it. Nothing too interesting. PHIO. Ticker we've traded in the past quite a bit, but today again had that kind of quick move and didn't really hold any of the pullbacks. The first major pullback here and sold off. Wasn't really so interesting. I don't know why my trades aren't popping up, but I traded it somewhere in this area. And then SOFI. Yeah, with SOFI, it had a lot of potential, and I don't regret trading it. I just somehow couldn't get on the right side on this ticker, and that was a little bit annoying, I guess. Again, this is a classic, large cap that's, sold off so much from the highs, classic like 80%, and it's still in this backside trend, and it's like a really solid channel it's stuck in. It might take me a while to really mark the channel, but something around the lines of, let's say, here to here, it's been just stuck in this perfect channel right now, and it is curling off the lows a little bit. Let's see, 50% with the rest of the market for sure, as the SPY has having that bounce too that we talked about. But I don't know, right now a lot of resistance. We have horizontal support and resistance zone right here at around 3.5. We have the 180 SMA coming in right here, and we got that top channel coming in. There's just tons of resistance on this one. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we had a second test to break it, but I'm not super optimistic that we're going to, this is going to be the reversal. And when I noticed I was trading this one in pennant pattern, it's one of my least favorite setups. That's when I stopped trading this one. Here was where I had that nice little 5-minute breakout, 1-minute pullback, but it fell through. That didn't work. Here was another setup, looking for that break of VWAP. That didn't work. I went for this break of VWAP. This one actually worked, so that was okay. But I think this was a little bit too much range trading for me, although a lot of these were front side moves. It doesn't really look like it, but we would get these solid breakouts, these solid 5-minute breakouts where we're on a new front side, new high, but they just lack continuation. So there was really like this hidden amount of sellers right around like the 715 that just constantly pushed this ticker back down. So and look at the volume. I mean, the volume profile is always very important. Just most of the high volume is on red candles, so that's always a big red flag. I don't know what kind of day it's going to be today. I mean, maybe we're going to kind of hold this neutral zone, and hopefully we end the day green. It's going to be another few more days of green action, but I'm not super optimistic here, and I'm not surprised that I'm red today. I was a little bit more hopeful today and ready to hit the ground running. Although I was reserved at the same time. I was patient, waiting for the right setup, and ultimately the right setup came. I just missed it on AGRI. So that happens sometimes where you just watch a different ticker when the move of the day is happening. So I guess that was the case for today. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out, and if you're totally new, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you part of the community. Like always, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.